Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right. Whew, what a rough weekend this has been. I know a lot of us are not in good spirits right now. Not only did we lose to South Carolina in terrible fashion, but we lost our quarterback, our main guy, and it's really a shame. I told you folks all season that I would have been happy if Hendon would have been our quarterback for the next 30 years, but unfortunately, now that he's almost 30, he's got to go to the NFL, and he tore his knee, and that's just a shame. It really is. He gave us a couple of fantastic years, and he will always be a big-time VFL, and I know everybody loves him and, wish him the best. I hate it, but, it's time to pass the baton. And he's going to be passing it to his good buddy, Joe Milton. The guy's got all the skill in the world and the talent. The question is, can he put it on the field when it really matters? And we're going to talk about that and Josh Heupel and what he's going to be able to do to help him and what else we've got in the quarterback position. Before I get started, I'm not going to act like what happened Saturday wasn't an absolute disaster. You won't see me doing this.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
No, it was awful. It's the worst, most embarrassing defensive performance I've ever seen. The offense played pretty well. They scored in the 30s and had our quarterback not torn his knee, they'd probably scored in the 40s. But it was not going to be enough because the defense just didn't show up, and they got embarrassed. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there, how they're going to perform this coming Saturday against Vanderbilt, a team we should easily beat. But now I'm not nearly as confident as I was 48 hours ago. And given everything that happened Saturday, all I can tell you is this sucks.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
Because not only did we lose the game, we also lost our, what I thought was just win out and we'd be in the playoffs. I don't think they could have kept us out given the resume that we had. So I think at this point, we obviously can kiss the playoffs goodbye.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah. Goodbye, playoffs. It was nice having you around. It was fun. But now we need to win, go 10-2, which will still be a great season. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this and talk about Josh Heupel. Yeah, this guy right here, look, he is an outstanding offensive mind. He kind of reminds me a lot of Lane Kiffin, only I think he's a little bit better than Lane, which is a real compliment because Lane Kiffin is an excellent offensive coordinator mindset. He really knows how to move the ball down the field against virtually any defense. And Josh Heupel's had success on every level. And we'll take a look at that. Right here, let's talk about what he did at Missouri. In 2015, prior to Josh Heupel getting there, Missouri ranked 124th in the nation in total offense with 280 yards a game. Heupel's very first year in 2016, the Tigers led the SEC and ranked 13th nationally, averaging 500 yards per game. In 2017, Missouri ranked 8th in the nation in total offense, averaging 502 per game. The Tigers were also 14th in the nation with 37.5 points per game. He took a guy called Drew Lock, who he turned into an absolute world beater. The guy threw for 3,400 yards, then he threw for 4,000 yards, went in the NFL draft, and I think he's still playing for Denver. He went in the second round. So that's just what the guy does everywhere he goes. So I see no reason to expect anything but great offenses under this coach. And everywhere he's been successful, and he's turned the offense into a juggernaut. And that's really important to remember. And it doesn't really – and the reality is he'll find the right quarterback. I'm hoping Joe Milton's the guy. I really am. We will find that out at some point over the next 2 games, and I'm sure they'll figure it out in spring and fall practice as well. And let's take a look at what we've got at quarterback position. Obviously, we know about Joe Milton, and he has 1 year left. We'll see how he does. The reality is he's got all the skill sets you'd ever want in a quarterback. He's huge. He's 240-plus pounds, throws the ball like a rocket, can run like the wind. I mean, he's everything you'd want in a quarterback. Eric Ainge, I remember last year before the season, was like, Joe Milton's a starting quarterback. This guy's got NFL skills, NFL arm, NFL this, NFL that. But the reality was he struggled hitting open receivers during big plays. You know, he can make every throw. There's not a throw he can't make, but he's got to be able to hit those throws when it really matters. And we're going to find that out over the next 2 games. We will find that out. And I'm hoping it works out great for the guy. You gotta like the guy. He stayed with us. He could have left. Most quarterbacks would have left once Hendon Hooker took over, and that would have been understandable. Not this guy. And he's been very supportive of Hendon Hooker, so he's a team guy. So everybody's rooting for him, including this guy. But after him, let's say he gets a sprained ankle or something. Your next guy is Tavon Jackson. He was a 4-star, highly recruited, got all the skills, but he's a true freshman, and that's going to be tough for a true freshman to go in and run that offense. But, you know, we do have him in reserve. We also have Heath Schuler's son, Navy Schuler, who's a sophomore, and he's actually quite a good player, and he transferred from Appalachian State. He's a preferred walk-on, which they probably did something NIL-wise to take care of that. He's got 4 seasons of eligibility, so that's what you have behind Joe Milton. And I think you can also count on the fact that Hendon Hooker is going to be on that sideline, and he's going to be incredibly supportive of Joe Milton. He's going to be watching the game. Granted, he's going to be on crutches, but he's going to watch the game, and he's going to be able to help Joe figure things out during that Vanderbilt game and and also inspire the team. And I fully expect Hendon to give a speech before that game that's very inspiring and should be emotional and should get this team as fired up as they can be, because this has been our fearless leader, you know, all year and last year. And he's, you know, the guy's done an epic job at the quarterback position, better numbers than we've virtually ever seen, except just a very small group of quarterbacks that Tennessee's had. So, you know, it's going to be inspirational.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
Yeah, and it'll be better. And it'll be better than that. Yeah, I don't think he'll bring up the Germans. So I know that's what's on everybody's mind right now is what are we going to do without Hendon? And like I said, we do have Joe and we do have Coach Heupel, and I think we're going to figure this out. And let's also remember next year we've got a 5-star, the highest rated quarterback we've recruited, probably other than Peyton Manning, that has ever come to Tennessee, and that's Nico. And I can't pronounce his last name. It's just too difficult. I'll mess it up. But this guy is an absolute stud. I think he's the #1 rated quarterback in the country for what we want because he is so mobile. And if you've seen the guy move, I mean, he is tall, he's fast, and he's quick. And here you can see him throwing the ball and how quick he is. I mean, granted, he's only, 17, 18 years old. So, you know, he needs to get bigger and stronger. But this guy's got all the skills in the world. And has been a huge winner at the high school level, obviously, and he has every superlative you could ever want out of a quarterback. So we have that coming our way as well, which is great. I mean, he throws a beautiful ball, very catchable. You can see how accurate he is. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing, and he can see over the line. He is so tall. That's one of the nice things, and he's very elusive. So to say all is not lost is an understatement. The future is very bright. And I do want to talk to the 4- and 5-star recruits out there that are looking at Tennessee, and we've got a bunch of them coming. Look, our defensive secondary needs help bad, and we've got a bunch coming, okay? I'll show you that. All right, besides the 5-star Nico, look at that ranking. Number 5 nationally, and he's really, to me, he's the #1 quarterback. We've got our edge. We've got to put pressure on the quarterback. We put none on Rattler Saturday, none. Well, this fella right here, Chandavian Bradley, is basically almost a 5-star. He's the #1 player in the state of Missouri, depending on the rankings, and he's going to cause havoc in the backfield. Here's another fella. He's the #1 recruit in the state of Tennessee, Caleb Herring, and also an edge rusher. He's a beast, super fast. He's going to cause havoc in the backfield. We have a very good cornerback in Jordan Matthews that they're excited about. This is a high 4-star, and he's going to help us quite a bit. Here's a really strong safety, Sylvester Smith, secondary player. A really nice pickup on the defensive line, Tyree Weathersby. A fast, I mean, this guy is fast. Ricky Gibson, 4-star out of Alabama. That was a nice pickup. This guy's got burners. This Jalen Smith, I actually covered him. This guy's a tackling machine. He's a high 3-star, but I'm telling you, if you watch this guy's videos, I mean, he tackles everything. He tackles the coaches, the water boy. It doesn't matter. If you're out there, you get tackled. Here's another nice edge rusher coming. And here's Christian Conyer, the #1 player out of Kentucky, depending on the ranking service. Super fast, great cornerback. So we've got some help there. Here's another really nice safety that's coming in, John Slaughter. Also, we have a defensive lineman, David Hobbs, who's received 2 crystal balls heading to UT. Everybody's after him, Alabama, Georgia, etc. And it looks like he's probably going to commit to Tennessee. And he's probably going to commit within a few days. And I'm pretty excited about him. I think he's going to be a big help to us, and he's a big defensive lineman, and he's almost a 5-star, and I think he will be great for us if he winds up in the recruiting class. But I will tell you this, if you're a 4-star or a 5-star, or you're a really good player, and let's say you're at Texas A&M or you're at Auburn or somewhere like that, and you want to play, let me tell you something. We need players starting early next year. So if you're looking to transfer, the Vols is the place to go. You can see you're going to get playing time. And also realize the defense is out there a lot because our offense scores very quickly. And as long as Josh Heupel is the head coach, we're going to score points. He will figure it out. He's figured it out everywhere he's gone. He figured it out at Oklahoma. He figured it out at Missouri. He figured it out at Central Florida. And he's figured it out here. That's 4 for 4. I'm going to go with 4 for 4. I think he'll just continue right down the path. He's going to find us a good quarterback. It may take a little bit of time, or it may be Joe Milton. We will find out. But if you're looking to play on a great team that's going to score points and an amazing crowd base, and Neyland Stadium's unbelievable, and you've seen that. NIL money, everything anybody could possibly want, we've got. Man, you need to be looking hard at UT because, number 1, we need you. Number 2, you're going to get treated great. Number 3, you're going to get to play if you're good. So if you're looking to transfer somewhere and you're really good, you'd be an idiot not to look at the Vols hard because this is a team on the up and come. And realize what Josh Heupel has done. He started out with a disaster. Jeremy Pruitt left, 30 players left. And these weren't just hack players, okay? These weren't your backup to a backup and they just kind of clean house. No, no, no. We lost our 2 starting linebackers, our 2 starting running backs. All of those players were really good and immediately went to Alabama, Michigan State, Oklahoma, North Carolina. All of them started immediately. A 5-star offensive lineman went to Oklahoma. So on and so forth. We were ravaged. What he has done over the last 2 years has been an amazing job. He should be National Coach of the Year both years. That's how good a job he's done with really a defense that is void of a lot of talent in the secondary. It obviously is. Sorry, but that's the facts. And a very thin team. And he had one recruiting class that he was able to recruit in, what did he have, like 2 weeks? And he wound up like 21st, and we're trying to compete with top 5. Give me a break. This will be his first actual recruiting class. It's going to be top 10. It might end up in the top 5. We'll see how it goes depending on who we get at the last. And also, you got to throw in the transfers. We will pick up 2 or 3 starters out of the transfer portal, in my opinion. I don't see any way we don't. And I think we need to be looking at Texas A&M hard. They've got a bunch of 5-stars that are unhappy. So that's sort of how I see this. So this team has a lot to play for. Finishing 10-2 would be a great year for us when it's all said and done. And yeah, it's disappointing what happened, but you know what? You got to go on to the next hole. You know, if you make a triple bogey, you can't just let it affect the next 5 holes. You got to go to the next hole and try to make a par or a birdie. And it's the same thing in football. One bad game does not ruin your season. And we've got a great head coach. This fella, Joe Milton, I'm rooting for him as hard as anybody. I hope he makes it work for himself and the team. And if he doesn't, we'll have others. And that's just the reality of football. It's the next man up. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and the SEC. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I've only been doing this about 4 months. I could use some subscribers. I sure could. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.